In the book of Isaiah, the 59th chapter, verses 1 to 14, the Bible reads, Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that he cannot save, neither is his ear heavy, that he cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongues have muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity, and speak lies. They conceive mischief, and bring forth iniquity. They hatch cockatrice eggs, and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper. Their webs shall not become garment, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the axe of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we have no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. We row all like bears, and moan sore like doves. We look for judgment, but there is none. For salvation, but it is far from us. For our transgressions are multiplied before thee, and our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquities, we know them. In transgressing and lying against the Lord, and departing away from our God, speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and iniquity cannot enter.
In 1989, resentment over racial injustice in the U.S. reached a new breaking point, and a powerful movement gained a voice through popular culture.
Why are you gonna be about Africa?
Calling for change on screen.
Spike Lee's new film, Do the Right Thing, is controversial.
This movie hits you in the face.
Yo!
Taking the power of music to a new level.
It was a revelation to the white communities that didn't know this was taking place.
And forging a connection with an entire nation through late night TV.
If hip hop is the news of the ghetto, my show was CNN's headquarters in Atlanta.
It was also a year American history would be made.
A grandson of slaves was sworn in today as the nation's first elected black governor.
1989. It was indicative of all the black communities having a consciousness that had to change.
The Black Lives Matter movement we saw in recent years is not an arbitrary movement that sprung up because of police brutality and the like. This movement can trace its root to the change that came about in 1989 when a consciousness concerning the state of the black population was suddenly revived. This movement was spurred on by Spike Lee's movie, Do the Right Thing, and was backed by the major rap musicians of the day. In this video, we will explore the rise of this black consciousness and how it led to the black movements we have today.
I believe in a society that is free from discrimination and bigotry of any kind, and I will work to knock down the barriers left by past discrimination.
In 1989, there were no black senators, and there had never been an elected black governor in American history.
The communities were not being listened to. Black people were not being listened to.
I'm trying to tell you.
There was this frustration that we were supposed to have been to the mountaintop, as Martin Luther King said. And there was this struggle about what is a way to raise your voice.
America in the late 80s was 25 years removed from the March on Washington and 35 years from Brown versus Board of Education. But even in its most progressive cities, how far had the country really come?
There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. The right thing could only be done in the right way at the right time with the right message. Unfortunately, the black community chose the wrong way, and the results speak for themselves.
Howard Beach, Queens, 1986. A racially motivated attack on 3 black men led to the death of 23-year-old Michael Griffith. The incident raised racial tensions in the city and inspired a young director to make a movie with a message.
Spike Lee's new film, Do the Right Thing, is controversial. Some critics have gone as far as saying it could incite violence.
Do the Right Thing is drawing strong, pointed reviews, some praise, and arousing heated controversy.
Do the Right Thing came out in the summer of 1989.
What we're trying to do is have people start discussing, start dialoguing about race relations in this country to provoke thought.
Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. It was a strong, courageous film, one of the few American films in recent years that uncompromisingly tried to say something serious about race relations in our country.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and verse 18 to 19. The Bible reads, For thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that hath formed the earth and made it. He had established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, Seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare the things that are right.
But teaming up with a hip-hop group known for its politically charged lyrics furthered the cause. Since 1986, Public Enemy had used music to voice the concerns of African American communities. But it was the groundbreaking theme for Do the Right Thing that brought their socially conscious message to the mainstream.
Yes, there's a problem in the United States of America in 1989. So we came up with Fight the Power.
With just 3 words, Public Enemy had expressed the frustrations of millions and created a timeless anthem.
You can listen to Fight the Power and hear them talking about young people wanting to stand up for their beliefs, young people wanting to have a voice for their community when no one else will listen to them, and about the injustice that they see is happening in their communities. That music was being accepted as a form of political speech.
Check this out, man. We rolling this way. That march in 1963, that was a bit of nonsense. We ain't rolling like that no more. Matter of fact, the young black America, we rolling up with seminars, press conferences, and straight up rallies. Am I right?
In the late 80s, Public Enemy wasn't the only group with provocative lyrics. But back then, most rap music had a less lofty agenda.
There's no need to argue, just don't understand.
Hip-hop was mostly party music. And then Public Enemy changed the game in hip-hop dramatically. By '89, Public Enemy were the standard bearers. They were the pioneers in this medium, which hadn't been political before, but had this immediate impact inspiring other groups.
In Romans chapter 13, verses 1 to 7, the Bible records, Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror unto good works, but to evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is a minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is a minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor.
Please do the right thing. It was a strong, courageous film, one of the few American films in recent years that uncompromisingly tried to say something serious about race relations in our country.
It's an absolutely wonderful film. It's the best film of 1989, clearly.
You were getting a message, but it was still moving you. You know, it still was grooving. You know, you could hear the funky drummer. But at the same time, when the song was over, you were better for it.
Better for it, he says. The rise of hip-hop in America marks the beginning of the fall of the black community. Hip-hop promotes drugs, guns, illicit sex, and the like. And because of this, the black population became deluded, degraded, miseducated, misinformed, and misaligned, leading to the breakdown of the black family, the black school, the black institutions, and thus paving the way for the current disillusion, confusion, and general state that we see in the black community today.
Through Yo MTV Raps, black culture entered the living rooms of white suburbia. And it was about to gain a stronger foothold with a show that would change the television landscape.
Crank it out!
Late night TV had basically been the province of older white guys.
I loved Johnny Carson, but I know Johnny Carson's not there for me.
I would watch The Tonight Show. I was a huge fan of Johnny's. I wanted to be Johnny. But as a young black man, you could go a whole month and not see Al Green, or someone who looked like you, someone who was in your album collection.
The thing that I did is, instead of going after Carson, I went after everything he leaves over. The people that watch Johnny, I went after their kids. I went after their kids. Their kids.
In 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 and 2, the Bible reads, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." In the book Child Guidance, page 229, paragraph 1, we read, "One of the signs of the last days is the disobedience of children to their parents. And do parents realize their responsibility? Many seem to lose sight of the watch care they should ever have over their children and suffer them to indulge in the evil passions and to disobey them." In the last clip, Arsenio Hall clearly stated that he went after the children, thus showing that there is a clear link between the rise of hip-hop and the disobedience of children in the last days, showing that Satan is increasingly going after our children. This means that parents should be increasingly more vigilant as to what they allow their children to consume in music, in internet, in video, social media, and all these varying mediums through which Satan uses to corrupt, to pervert, and to ensure that our children is lost, eternally lost.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?